I'm telling you, James, what the show needs is music.
No music, Roger. I already spoke to Mr. Shakespeare about your idea, and he said if you tried to add one song, you'd be dancing from a gibbet.
That's a bad thing, right?
Right.
Well, what do you think, James? You know that witch scene at the beginning?
Yes?
Well, we could cast a couple of younger guys as witches, give them the same makeup we used for the girl in Romeo and Juliet, and then we could put in a little...
Because if I did that, I would be hanging next to you on the gibbet.
Can I at least show you the song that I want to put in?
Roger, I really don't
Do you
have...
remember the certain wine girl at the festival of summer solstice?
Yes?
Well, I remember a certain stage manager saying to a certain actor that he would, and I quote, owe you a big one, end quote, if you could get that certain stage manager a certain date with a certain wine girl at a certain festival of summer solstice.
This is extortion.
That's a dirty word. I prefer to think of it as plea bargaining.
Plea bargaining?
You pleaded no on bargaining.
Roger,
Yes, sir?
do you remember the condition I was in at the festival of the summer solstice?
Yes.
And how would you describe that condition?
In dire need of female companionship, but so drunk you thought there were 3 wine girls.
Yep. Now, did you happen to get a good look at the wine girl?
It was cloudy
Uh-huh.
and dark,
Uh-huh.
and I think I had a touch of the flame.
Uh-huh. Well, I did. And believe me, with this one, I owe you no favors.
Now, I bet if I had a lead, you couldn't say no to a song. We'll just have to see what I can make about it. Everybody's a critic.
With a voice like his, everybody should be a critic.
Her Majesty, the Queen of England.
How may I help you, Your Majesty?
You're not allowed to speak to Her Majesty. All correspondence concerning general affairs will have to go through me.
And you are?
Her Majesty's private secretary.
How private is that?
I'm in charge of Her Majesty's correspondence.
Sounds pretty private.
You don't even know the half of it. I'm not even allowed to read most of it.
Then how do you...
It's a cushy job.
What may I do for Her Majesty, then?
Her Majesty would like to grace your theater with her presence.
Oh, she'd like to buy some tickets.
No, she would not like to buy tickets.
She would like to be given tickets?
You're not quite as dumb as you look.
I wish I could say the same. Now, which performance would Her Majesty like to attend?
I wouldn't know.
But you're her private secretary.
You would have to speak to Her Majesty's handmaiden today.
Who is...
I am Hilda, Her Majesty's handmaiden in charge of scheduling.
The pleasure is all mine. And Your Majesty wishes tickets for which performance?
The 12th would be satisfactory.
The 12th, then.
But then again, the 17th is probably best for next month.
All right, then.
But Her Majesty's schedule is much more open in the spring.
The show's not running in the spring.
Well, then you'll just have to extend the run now, won't you?
Well, if Her Majesty would like to sponsor a play throughout the winter, we would be glad to perform for it during the spring.
That's a joke, right?
And if it's not?
Jinsu.
The 17th, then.
That might just do.
And where would Her Majesty like to be seated?
You would have to speak to Heidi about that.
Who is?
Her Majesty's handmaiden in charge of where Her Majesty would like to be seated. Heidi is currently preoccupied.
I should have known.
Where would you seat Her Majesty?
I assume she would like her customary seats in the royal box.
I will see if that is satisfactory with Her Majesty. Your Highness, would your royal box be acceptable? For what? For giving the performance, Your Highness. And what performance might that be? Shakespeare's new play, Your Highness.
What is she, deaf?
No, she's just playing. She gets pretty bored being with me, so we let her have her fun. When will she be performed? The 17th, Your Highness. Is that time open on our schedule, Hilda? Yes, Your Highness. Do we have any engagements that would impede us from attending, Helga? No, Your Highness. And we would be seated in our customary accommodations? Yes, Your Highness. So I assume your answer is no.
What? Why the hell not?
What did that peasant say? He said, tie the bell knot, Your Highness. Very well. Bell knot? You wouldn't want to see that peasant drawn and quartered, would you? No thanks, I just had lunch. Then he's happy bell knot. Is the performance made unacceptable, Your Majesty?
if the royal box isn't good enough for you, where would you like to be seated?
Where would you like to be seated, Your Highness?
On the stage,
On the stage?
Preferably to the left.
we have concluded our business with this man. Have our new seats prepared for us.
Royalty, jeez. Can't live with them, can't impeach her.